Now we'll discuss about set hierarchy. Uh, so here we'll discuss the classes which are implementing a set interface. So we'll start with certain basic concept of set in Java. Then we'll move on to the corresponding set classes. So here we will discuss about the functionality of set interface. Then we'll move on to tree set, how a tree set works. Then we will discuss about a comparable interface. So the comparable interface which allows uh, uh, tree set to perform sorting. So how it is happening inside the tree set, we will discuss about it. Then we'll move on to hash set. So regarding set, so set is a as a child which is extended from collection interface, and moreover in set there is no position oriented operation. So set are always unordered collection, and inside the set it does not store any duplicate values. Suppose if you try to store any duplicate values inside the set, it will simply override the existing value. So you cannot have a duplicate value inside a set. And if you wish, if you want to store a null value, set allows you to store only one null value, because inside a set you cannot have duplicate, so you can have a single null value. And if you want to process all the elements of your set interface, you can go with an iterator. um, so inside the set interface, so sorry, inside the list we have legacy classes, or we have uh, a class which introduced in the earlier version of Java, that is vector. But in set does not, you cannot have any legacy classes. So we have three implementations of set. We have a tree set class, then we have a hash set class, then we have a linked hash set. So regarding tree set, so in tree set simply performs sorting of your elements which are there in the collection. And in hash set, uh, it does not sort the elements. And in linked hash set, suppose if you want to retain the position of your collection element, then you have to go with linked hash set. So linked hash set is ordered hash set. So we'll start with the tree set. So in tree set, there is no duplicate allowed it, because set will never allow any duplicate. And if you wish to process all the elements of your tree set, you can go with you can go with an iterator. And tree set, whenever you add an element to the tree set, it will perform the sorting. So whenever you process all the elements from the tree set, it will be in a sorted order, right? And by default it sorts elements in the ascending order. And tree set is not synchronized. So suppose if you are using tree set in multi-threaded environment, then thread safety, that is a part of a developer has to enforce it. A tree set is not synchronized, and it's all the methods are not synchronized. So if you want to create tree set in Java, so this is the syntax. So tree set, you can mention the type of the tree set. So type can be of primitive type or a string type, or your user defined a class type. It may be of any type. And for adding element into the tree set, we have an add method. So here we have added the three elements into the tree set. So here we are adding 1 2 3 4 5 string objects into the tree set. And we'll start with an iterator. So iterator we discussed in the previous session. So iterator allows you to process all the elements of your collection. So here we are creating iterator for the tree set with the method iterator. And inside the iterator we have two method, hash next and next. So hash next will simply move the virtual cursor to the next position of the collection, and if there is a next element it returns true, and if there is no such element it returns false. And there is a method next. So next method will simply returns an object type. The return type of next method is always object. Suppose if you want to convert that into your own type, suppose the three elements are string, then the return object type should be typecast with a string type. So here we are returning the element as an object. So O1 is an object reference. So we are storing the element which is returned by the next method. and here we are simply printing the object, right? So this is how we iterate tree set element, and while iterating, the elements are processed in a ascending sorted way, right? So how does the tree set performs a sorting? So inside the tree set class, it also implements an interface known as comparable interface. So the comparable interface have a method compare to. So this compare to method will performs the comparison of two elements inside the collection to perform sorting. So the return type is integer, and compare to method takes one object as an argument, right? So this comparative method compares the object you are going to insert with the rest of the objects in the collection. So likewise, this comparative method compare all the objects in the string to performs the sorting. For example, suppose if you are storing wrapper type or string type, then you don't need to worry about the comparable interface or comparative method, because tree set by default implements the comparable interface and it performs the sorting for all the wrapper type as well as the string type or all the predefined class type. There is no problem at all. But if you would like to store your own object or your own user defined class object inside the tree set, in that case you have to manually implement how does your comparative method is going to compare your user defined object. For example, here we are taking the class student with three attributes: roll number, name, and marks, right? So inside the tree set we are going to store student object. So tree set always performs the sorting. So in student object we have three attributes, right? So you have to write your own logic to ensure the sorting is going to happen based on which attribute, whether you are going to perform sorting based on roll number, or whether you are going to perform sorting on name, or whether you are going to perform sorting on the marks. So that is up to the developer has to decide what type of attribute is to be used in sorting. So for doing that, your class should implement comparable interface, and we have three attributes with a constructor, and apart from that you have to attach a compare to method inside your class. So here we are using compare to method with an object as an argument. So here we are performing typecasting. So we are casting the argument into one student object, and here we are going to perform sorting. So here I have chosen mark as an attribute to be used for sorting purpose. So here I'm simply checking the existing mark with a current mark. So this is a existing mark in the collection, and this is the mark of the current object. So student marks returns the current mark value. If both are same, return 0, in the sense there is no sorting happens because both the values are same, right? Suppose if the existing mark is greater than that of the marks of the current object, in that case you are returning 1, otherwise you are returning -1. Suppose if the return value is 1, in the sense already existing value is greater than that of the present value, right? So in these two cases, return 1, return -1, both the cases sorting will happen to rearrange the student object inside your tree set. But in case of return 0, there is no sorting will happen, right? So this return 0, return 1, return -1, for any logic it is going to be the same, right? Suppose if you want to do that in ascending order, here you can return 1 and -1. Suppose if you want to do that in descending order, here in the first return you attach -1, in the second return you attach +1. In that case, tree set performs descending order based sorting, right? Now that comes under a main class. So in main class we have a main method with the tree set. Here we are adding the object of student class. So we are adding three objects. For each and every object, our comparative method will be invoked. It is going to perform sorting based on the marks of the student object, right? So if you try to print it with the help of an iterator, then you will get values like that. So 45 is the lowest mark, then 66 is the next highest, 96 is the highest mark. So all the three objects are sorted based on the marks. So in has set class, so it is a part of set hierarchy. So it does not allow any duplicate values, and moreover has set is unordered as well as unsorted collection. So if you would like to store uh, a set of elements which does not have any duplicates, then in that case you can prefer has set. So for creating has set, we have a syntax like a has set of type. So here we are adding yeah, elements of integer proper type, and moreover whenever you try to store some element into your hash set, so internally it uses hashing technique. So it uses the hash table for storing the elements into the collection. So that is why hash set is unordered, right? So in the given code, we are creating a hash set, and we have added 5 elements into the hash set, and here we are trying to print all the values with the help of an enhanced for loop. So every time you may, there is no guarantee that every time you will get elements in this particular order. Sometime you will get elements in different order also. Why? Because hash set is unordered. So the order of objects printed are not predictable. You may get different order of elements also. So the first question, so here set allows at most one null element. Yes, it is true, because in set you cannot have any duplicate value. So at most you can store one null value. And which implementation of set we use if you want to iterate to retrieve objects in the order we have inserted. So here you want to retain the order of insertion, right? In that case, you should prefer to linked hash set. So tree set and hash set both are unordered, but linked hash set is ordered. So the insertion order is retained in case of linked hash set. So you should prefer linked hash set if you want to perform certain position oriented, or if you want to retain the order. So if you need to store user defined objects in tree set, right? So we have seen an example of storing student object, right? So like that, if you would like to store user defined object into the tree set, which interface should the corresponding class should implement? So the class should implement comparable interface, right? So the comparable interface will provide you the method compare to. Inside the compare to, we will be writing our logic for sorting the elements. So far we discussed about set, properties of set, then we discussed about tree set, hash set, then comparable interface. So that is about set hierarchy. Now we'll get into map hierarchy. So in map hierarchy, we'll start with the basic idea behind map interface, then classes like hash map class, hash table class, then tree map class, right? So we'll start with the map interface. So map is a separate hierarchy which is not part of your collection hierarchy. So map always stores a data in a form of a key as well as a pair. So you can able to store a pair of data inside the map, right? And moreover, in map hierarchy, all the keys, so the keys in the map are always unique. In that case, you cannot have any duplicate keys in your map classes, right? Then if you want to retrieve the value, then if you know the key value, you can directly access the value with the help of a key. So that is, we have methods to access it. And in map in general, you cannot have any duplicate values. If you try to have a duplicate value, it will simply override the existing key as well as value. And for each and every key, at most you can have one value. So for a single key, you cannot have two values in a map. Why? Because key is unique. So you cannot have multiple values for a single key. And we have a methods like, so there is a method put. So this method will simply store a pair of data into your map, and get method, it takes your key as an argument, and it will return the corresponding value. Then remove method will simply remove a particular key pair combination from your map. and size will simply return the size of your map. So we'll start with hash map. So internally, hash map uses the hashing technique to store your object inside your hash map, and with the help of hash code also you can able to locate it, right? And hash map is unsorted as well as unordered, right? So whenever there is a hashing technique, so it is always unordered and it is also unsorted. And inside the hash map you can store a maximum of one null key. Why? Because key should be unique in a map, in hash map. So at most you can have one null key, but values, in the sense, if you wish, you can have multiple null values or you can have duplicate values, right? So that is allowed. That key should be unique in hash map. Values can be duplicates, and moreover, if you want, you can have multiple null values in hash map also. And hash map is not synchronized, so whenever you want to apply hash map in multi-threaded scenario, ensure that you are attaching your own set of definition for ensuring the synchronization. By default, hash map does not provide synchronization support. So for creating hash map, I have to pass a two separate type. So the first argument represents the key type and the second argument represents the value type. And there is a method put method. So here we are adding a combination of key and value pair. So we have added two values into your hash map, right? And for storing the value, we use the method put off method. For retrieving the value, you can use get method, and for the get method, you can pass the key as an argument so that you can get back your actual value. So here we are creating a hash map where we are assigning a name with a account balance. So the particular person will have an account balance of 3,434. So likewise, for each person, we are mapping it with particular balance amount. And so here we have added everything into the hash map. And in iterating the hash map, there is a slight variation. So concerned with list and set, you can directly use the iterator, because list and set is going to hold a single value, so you can directly iterate it. But in hash map or any map classes, you will have a pair of data. So for iterating a pair of data, so first of all you have to convert your entire uh, hash map into the set before applying iterator. So for the given hash map, we are creating a set with the help of an entry set method. So this will gives you the set representation of your hash map. And for the given set, we are creating the iterator. And iterator, we have two methods, has next and next. So has next method is meant for whether is there any next element in the given collection, so you can identify with the help of has next. And the next method is going to return an object. In case of hash map, you will get a pair of data, right? In case of list and set, you will get a single data. You can directly assign it, and you can, if you wish, you can directly print it. But in case of hash map and any mapping class map classes, you will get a pair of data. So to fetch those pair of data, we use an interface map.entry. So map.entry is an interface which allows you to retrieve key and value combination from the iterator, right? So we are creating a reference to map.entry, and in map.entry we have a method like get key and get value. So get key method is going to return key value of a given pair, and get value method is going to fetch the value of a corresponding pair, right? So here we are simply printing everything, and here we are making some manipulations. So I'm going to retrieve the balance. So get of key. So in get method, I'm passing an key value, and I'm converting that into double. So here I will get a double value. So I'm storing it in a balance double variable. So likewise, if you know the key, you can get the corresponding value, right? And I'm going to change the balance. So I'm going to insert a same key with a different value. So I'm going to add a same key with a value. I'm incrementing it with 10,000, sorry, 1,000. So likewise, you can make some few manipulations inside your hash map classes with the help of get and put method. So this is your corresponding output for the given code. Now we'll come back to hash table. So all the collection classes are part of one util package, and the hash table is it is implemented from map interface, and it also extends the dictionary class. So dictionary is a legacy class under map hierarchy. So it is a child. So it is all the properties of dictionary class is being extended in hash table, and in hash table you can only have a unique keys, and here in the key section you cannot have null value, but in hash map you can have a single null key, but in hash table you cannot have any null value. The key cannot have a null value, and moreover it is a synchronized class. Hash map is not synchronized, but hash table is a synchronized class, right? So for creating hash table you can go with syntax is we are taking two pair of data. First one represents your key, second one represents your value, and we are adding element into the hash table with the help of a put method. And here we are creating a hash table, and for iterating the given hash table we are using enumeration here, and here I have added
தண்ணியில துப்பாக்கி தண்ணியில வச்சு உள்ள டேங்க்ல தண்ணி ஊற்றி ஸ்ப்ரே அடிப்பாங்களா.
நீ இப்போ மீன் வச்சு விளாடு, போ மீன் பிடிப்போம், அதை வச்சு கொஞ்ச நேரம் விளாடு. அப்பா அப்பா ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு தான் வர முடியும். நீ எல்லார் மேலேயும் தண்ணி அடிக்கலாம், தரமாட்டேன்ப்பா. சரி, இந்த பெட் இருக்குல்ல, given hash table we are creating a hash table with a pair of data. So key is a type of string, value is a type of double. So enumeration is a legacy interface where you can use it for processing the elements or iterating the elements of your collection. So we'll see how we are doing that with the help of enumeration. Already we discussed iterating the element with the help of an iterator. So here we will see the usage of enumeration, and here we are adding elements into your hash table. So name with a balance amount, and so there is a method keys. So the keys method will simply returns you a set of keys, and we are holding it in enumeration. So the return type of keys method is always an enumeration. So we are declaring enumeration over here, and we are storing the value returned by the keys method. And in enumeration we have a methods like has more element, then next element. So the has more element will return true if there is a next element. So it is similar to that of has next in iterator, and next element will simply return an object. So here the key, so here we are holding all the keys. So the key type is string, so we are saying we are typecasting it with the string, and we are simply printing it. Suppose if you want to get the corresponding value also, then there is a method get method. So inside a get method you can pass an argument as a string so that you can get the corresponding value, right? So likewise also if you want you can iterate your hash table. Either you can go with iterator, or if you want you can go with enumeration also for iterating your hash table. And regarding tree map provides an additional facility. So it will simply sort your entire collection based on the key, and so all the keys are sorted in an ascending order, and it allows a rapid retrieval. So if you are performing a lot of fetching operations or lot of get operations from the given collection, you can preferably go with the tree map, and all the elements are sorted in ascending. And here also key cannot be null. but it contain multiple null values, because in tree map sorting is performed based on the key. Suppose if the key is null, then you cannot perform sorting internally. So in tree map, key cannot be null, but if you want, you can have multiple null values. So here we are creating a tree map and we are adding elements into the tree, name with account balance. So we have added these much elements into your tree map, and we are going to iterate all the elements of the given tree map. So here I'm going with iterator. So I'm first of all I'm creating a set with the entry set. Then we are putting an iterator. Then we are using hasNext method to identify whether there is a next element in the tree map or not. Then for retrieving key and value, we are using map.entry, and there is a method getKey and getValue. So here the entire tree map is sorted based on the key value. So the entire key strings are sorted in ascending order.